Hello, friend, and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. I'm here once again, back after a while, taking a little break for Unity of Command. We've been playing this game for so much that I do think that we can go for some other games. Meanwhile, I don't mean this particular playthrough, but just playing War in the East in general. Have hundreds of hours into 1 and 2. Either way, since we've been taking a while, let's do a quick update here. I will go for the theater boxes first. So what happened? Well, we cannot prevent the landings on Sicily in this campaign, unfortunately, if you ever can. Maybe. I don't actually know. If you put enough units in Africa and then in Italy, whether the Allies will ever go and land. I think I've read it somewhere once that you can prevent it, and you can technically even prevent the landings in Normandy. But I've never seen that. Maybe you could. Well, either way, so currently we have a bunch of forces dumped in Italy. Currently, ground combat is pretty low, which is interesting given that the Allies have landed on Sicily. I'll keep it like this for now, because you never know when it might go to high and the requirements will go a lot higher, which they probably will once the Allies lose, or once we lose Sicily. Historically, I believe, I even searched it up, it's like mid-August somewhere, like 18th or something. So that's another month off. But I'm loath to move units away at this stage. I like to keep this nice and high, because like I said, if this requirement suddenly jumps to 220, or whatever, then I want to have 110%, and I don't know when it's gonna happen. In Balkans, that's different though. So I currently have 109, and I can probably take something out. I will, most likely. So that's either gonna be the 297th or the 100th Jaeger. Most likely 100 Jaeger, but I'm gonna have to take a look at the reinforcement schedule for the Balkans. Let's actually do that right now. So this is on turn 3. Got a bunch of stuff that moved and arrived. So in the Balkans, it's flak. Bunch of stuff arrived in Italy as well, but that's okay. Let's take a look at turn 4. So turn 4 first. From Norway, reserves, Norway. A lot of stuff arriving from Norway. Let's quickly go there for a bit. Norway. Here we are. So Norway currently is 107. I think I've taken out everything that I can. Yes, I did. So they're fine. That's good. Then I don't think Norway ever goes up either. Either way, they're going to Western Europe, Italy, so I'll get more there. Where is this Italy? Leibstandard is going to Italy? From map to Italy next turn? I don't think that's actually what I want. Yeah. Let's cancel that withdrawal. I don't need them to go to Italy. And then 17 map again in a Western theater. Let's only cancel the Italy one for now. I'm not sure whether they upgrade. I do think they upgrade to a SS Panzer Division. Maybe. I'm not too sure. At any rate, I want to cancel these. How do we do it? Oh, yeah. From out to Italy. you know, from map to map is nothing. Obviously. And that cancels the second part apparently too, interesting, but not the third. I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh, it doesn't, okay. I just couldn't see it. Alright, alright. Fair enough. Okay, so those are gone. Then Italy, Western Europe. Can't cancel it going to Italy now. So I'll probably switch those. Like, I will take something out of Italy if it gets too high. It's high now, but map Western Europe. First this is Panzer Corps, this is Navalwerfer. So I'm going to, so that's fine. And then turn 5 from Finland. Is there anything going to Balkans? Like, this is a lot, but it's just... Oh, well, I have to watch Western Europe. Because if all those Italian coastal divisions transfer from Western Europe to Italy, I will have to take a look there. To see how low the Western Europe box goes. I'll get a Cossack cavalry division in Balkans. Nothing from Balkans, except the heavy cannon battalion. And Second Panzer Army. What do we have? I'm not gonna give up an army. That would be ridiculous. What do we have here now anyway? Italy, Army Group E. Bunch of Italian armies. No army command here. Well, too bad. But definitely not doing that now. So given that I can take another 12, that means I'm at least going to take infantry. 97. They'll have to recover. I might actually put them into the reserves for now. Let them gather strength there, then send them to the Eastern Front. They have 10,000 men. Let's send the other one too. Putting me at 103. Yeah, that's actually good. It wouldn't make sense to remove like things like the Rhodos Sturmbrigade and the 92nd Sturmbrigade. They're not gonna have that big of an impact. And I mean, Rhodos is here. They need garrisons for, let's say, historical accuracy or whatever. I can't really take out that much else anyway. I have this flak. 66th Flak Regiment. How are we on air anyway at this point? 102. Yeah, I'll keep the Flak Regiment then. That's fair. So that's that. The Soviet Union garrison is at 106. I have 95. That means I can technically take another Hungarian unit. I would think. Yeah, I'm 5 above it, so... Or Romanians. Let's go for Romanian. Let's see. The 3rd Romanian Infantry Division, huh? I was not deployed on the front until that. 1941. Siege of Odessa. But remained and later participated in offensive battles in Romania proper in 1944. Interesting that they put a link in there and send them to the map. 93, huh? The thing is that I could choose to get the weakest Hungarian light division. So they're probably in order. There's 173 and this is 130. So let's send the 24th Romanian Infantry Division. Not mobilized on 943. Security duties. But screw security duties. You're going to the front. I don't care. Alright, 102 is fine. Because there's still some ground combat. And it does mean that we have 2 more weak divisions, but still. Yeah. Finland, let's take a look. Ground is 102, air is 112, so they're okay. Definitely not touching that. Air day is night fighter, flak, and flak. Mostly fighter. Yeah, let's leave that. The flag also provides some ground. Not that much, but it does. So how are we on the western front? We actually have a 166 in air. Air combat is medium. It's probably gonna go to high fairly soon. So I'm fine with it. I actually only have 100 ground at the moment. It's not super high. If I dare say so myself. I'll probably... Yeah, you know, I can send some Sturmbrigadas over to the western front there. Or to Western Europe. I'll do it now. It's not a lot of points. But the thing with Western Europe is that I also think that the requirements go up when Italy gets more invaded, I think. That you'll get the Atlantic Wall trigger, I think. If we didn't already get it. Let's, no. Not theater box, not victory. Events, here we are. You always get the shortage of ground forces because you can't send forces there fast enough. It's a bit unfair. Not really though. Long range raids, Allies land in Sicily. During the second half of 1943, the US 8th Air Force, Air Fleet? Probably Air Fleet. Continues its massive 1,000 bomb raids on German industries. Most significant are the August to December raids on the German aircraft industry. 5,092 tons of explosives are dropped on 14 targeted aircraft plants, mostly airframe plants. Production of single-engine fighters. Messerschmitts 109s, Focke-Wulfs 190s, dropped by 45%. Americans take heavy losses in their raid in August against Regensburg and Schweinfurt, losing 60 planes and 664 crewmen killed in action or prisoner of wars. Later attack on the ball bearing plants around Schweinfurt in October also caused heavy losses. Yeah, okay. So that's Western Europe. We just sent some. I can send the coastal fort unit to Western Europe and the 85th Construction Battalion. Nah. I like my pioneer battalions on the Eastern Front. Alright, well, we'll see. I might also send the Flanders Motorized Brigade. It's at 66. Yeah, let's go to Western Europe. These brigades don't have that much meaningful stuff to add on the Eastern Front anyway. I'd rather have them go for points, basically, out there.
One last thing that I want to check
Italy, dude. Cannot send any army from here. And these are just some falchium. So can't send any army from here. Just want to see if I have any armies that I could send. I don't think I do. 20th Mountain Army. But it's a bit unfair, I think, to... I want to scroll up and down. There we are. Yeah, I think it's a bit unfair, say historically speaking, to take out the 20th Mountain Army and or the Corps, even though we could definitely use it quite a lot. To be honest. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense, so let's actually keep that. I was kind of fine doing that with the... I think it was like 5th Panzer Army before. That's fine, but let's just keep the 20th Mountain Army. I like to do my things historically whenever I feel like it. And whenever I don't feel like it, I don't. That's just the way the ball rolls. Whenever I feel like it, whatever it suits me, whatever strikes my fancy, I will pretend to do things historically, and whenever I don't feel like it, I don't. Yeah, that's how it goes. Anyway, a quick update on the Eastern Front. So, I decided to resume my offensive to keep Leningrad cut off. And any hex I can take on the Volkov means that it will be easier to defend once the Russians come to attack. So I might or might not be able to take Leningrad. I actually think it's still up for grabs. I'm not gonna say I can't, because I think there is a possibility if the Russians decide to eventually retreat, which they might do. And I'm not saying they will, but they might, given the AI. If, like, I'm gonna make a push, and let's just say that at the very least, I'll try to capture as many hexes on the Volkov itself to try and get my defenses up, because I do also want to have as strong defenses as possible around here. And at the very least, if I cannot take Kobona and Novaya I can dig in along the Volkov. They'll get supplies from Siestroy. It might at least make it so that it might be a bit easier to defend. If I'm very lucky and I can get at least up till here, then maybe I can even push these guys out. I remember that on War in the East 1, what happened is I was able to actually take all three, or at least I was able to get this to I believe I only had to cut them off at Novaya Ladoga back then. I'm not too sure. Maybe I did have to take Siestroy. Yeah, I did, with the Finns. But what happened is I was able to push them back some bit, so I surrendered a few of them, but then I couldn't push further, and the Russians decided to keep airdropping supplies, and they had air superiority over the region. So by then, even though I did cut them off entirely, the Soviet had built up such an air fleet that they, like, Leningrad basically became the Stalingrad of the Russians, but they actually did manage to bring in enough supplies. That's that's basically what happened back then. That was a bit unfortunate. So back then I could not take Leningrad in my other Kursk game in War in the East 1. That's basically what happened. As was going on in War in the East 1, I find that the 16th Army is really your weak spot. It really tends to be a place where the Russians also really do attack. So because it's weaker, the Russians do like to strike there. It's quite tricky. Like currently I do have divisions on each of those hexes, fair enough, and they're level 3 fortifications. But the Russians can push through whenever they feel like. Besides that, I really do hope to push the Russians back on these 3 hexes. So at least launch a counterattack in some sense to get them back across the... what river is this anyway? The Lovat. Yeah. Because if I can and dig in on these hexes, that makes my defense a whole lot better. I don't need to take Velikiluki necessarily. They have only 3 manpower either way. But yeah, I would like that anyway. Then we have 3rd Panzer. Not yet in a super bad state. It's the same here. We're still holding Smolensk for the time being. Pretty much depending on how this goes, this Kursk offensive, things are getting really nasty and dicey around here. I really don't like the way things are looking. But, I mean, look at this. It's just nasty, man. I mean, I can encircle again and then just pray that this time things will go a bit better. The thing is that the Russians also, they are giving up some positions here now in order to move those forces there. I don't like it one bit, especially as they are crossing here. And they're also pushing around Kirov. So that's tricky. Then, of course, at some point I do want to retreat around here as well. Can't do that yet. And we're also looking pretty weak over here, basically. So, we'll have to see. Let's deal with the Air Force first. Alright, so I have some air units in Orel. I do think I need to relocate them to Bryansk. Really? And they can, like, Karachev is fine. Oh, okay, I still have these there. Alright, I got everything out of Orel. I have air forces here at Smolensk. These are fine. Effectively, I want to keep the same... how would you say, it's not... or air directives, yeah. Man, that's a lot of planes sitting right on the edge. I'm not too sure whether I like that. Having them at Kharkov is probably better, so... I know they have to all rebase then. Yeah. Shit. Can I undo that? I don't think I can, most likely. May not in the last move, okay. Well, let's transfer some of these too then. Yeah. Over to Libidin. And let's see if that helps. So Kharkov is now 91. That's good. And Libidin is 50. Alright, well. They had to move a bit, which kind of sucks. But I guess it had to be done. About my recon directives. Fleet success 1. I actually do want to keep running that recon, but I want to move it a bit. Around this hex. Don't want to do it just one day. Let's do 2 days. And I want Air Fleet 4 to also run recon for 2 days on this hex. I don't care that much what happens in the center. I only care about the the units that are outside of it. Let's see how much I lose as well. Just a few operational losses, not that bad actually, which I'm quite happy about. All right, let's start in the north though. And the interesting question here becomes whether I can hold against 6. No, I don't think so, but I think I can actually get the 69th, because they only have to deal with those 3. Like, if they all attack here, I need 2 units, but I think here, those 3, I think they can hold. 32. Is Lightwoods? Yeah. I'll attack with all of them. Alright. I got it. The next hex that I need to take is gonna be harder. These heavy woods. This was also heavy woods though. How are you? Okay, I suppose. I don't necessarily think that launching a soft attack on these guys is going to be a great idea. Let's take a look at that battle though. I will have to go to info sheets. It's been a while since I played, so factory location. Send it here. Interdiction levels. Here, battle sites. Here we are. Ground. They attacked here last time. They'll likely do that again. And they attacked here. They are only 7,000, well, 7,500 men. So I lost a lot of men there.